Well, super excited for this panel. One, because of who we have here. We do a lot of prep for this, and so it's always awesome having the conversation. Two, the topic is fascinating. We've had a bunch of conversation around AI. Something that's super interesting as we're coming from the airport. I live in Maryland, come to San Francisco. I get hit by 200 AI billboards between the airport and getting here. So I think AI is a thing, apparently they say. Now, so the question is AI a thing in finance? And obviously it is. So this panel is going to go deep here. Actually, I will maybe doing some introductions, just going right to left here would be great. And maybe we'll start with you, Nick.
Hi, everybody. It's great to be here. A beautiful location and scenery, so thanks for having us. I'm Nicholas Kopp, CEO and founder of Rillet. You may have heard of us recently sort of in the news with a bunch of fundraisers from Sequoia and Andreessen. We're building a NetSuite killer, they call us. I prefer like an evolution of NetSuite. It's slightly less gory. But yeah, mid-market ERP software, AI native, and very excited to share with you more on our thoughts here.
Awesome. Yeah, Afiz?
Hi, everyone. Afiz Awole here. I'm the Director and Head of Technical Accounting and Digital Asset at Ava Labs, and by extension, the Avalanche Foundation. And I also recently started my own startup. It's called Stratum Advisory to look after core accounting stuff for Web3, the industry. So it's a pleasure to be here with everyone, and obviously with Nick, Sasha, or the wonderful audience, and to discuss the actual intersection of AI and accounting and what that means for the accounting function itself. Looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah,
thank you.
Awesome. Sasha?
Yeah, I feel so underdressed now. You look so sharp.
Forget it, sharp.
It's
all AI driven.
I'm T-shirt and sneakers. I'm Sasha. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Puzzle, and just take what Nick's doing at Rillet, but replace NetSuite with QuickBooks. So AI native accounting for small businesses.
Awesome. So you guys set me up perfectly, because my first question was, we hear people in finance say AI native, AI native. What does that mean? And I'll ask two of you Nick, you can go first, and maybe, what are we talking about when we say we're AI native?
I'm happy to go first. I'm actually here, Sasha's take as well on this afterwards. I don't think I've heard you talk about this. So on our end, AI native means really two things. One is related to integrations and integration points. So if you assume an infinitely intelligent, an infinite amount of intelligence or abundance in intelligence at like close to zero marginal cost, the key differentiator to producing superior customer results as a software or service provider is really the data that you have and that you feed into these models. So for us, AI native very much means native integrations to all the upstream systems, Salesforce, Stripe, crypto equivalents, and so forth. And then there's a second component of AI nativeness where you have LLMs and LLM technology, mostly LLM, some machine learning, natively built into the actual application and the workflows thereof. And one thing, and I'll pass it off to my co-panelists here, is that I want to be very clear on, not everything in our system is LLM and agents. So there's certain workflows and steps where LLMs are extremely powerful at, we can talk about these more, and others are highly deterministic. So for all the accountants in the role, a depreciation schedule or fixed, whatever it may be, prepaid, deferred revenue, all of these are highly deterministic processes, and we intend them to keep it that way.
We're going to come back to that in a moment. So I'd love you to answer AI native. Maybe also add, because we hear the buzzwords, agentic finance, AI native. So when we say that, those things, what does that mean from your perspective?
So I think the part that I very much agree with Nick is about delivering a better client experience. And in the world of traditional accounting, we've been limited with if-then statements as automation. And if-then statements are great, and you can get to probably around 40% automation, at least on categorization. But what about sort of balance sheet conversions and capitalization and depreciation? And that's sort of harder with an if-then statement. You'd have to write so much damn code to make any increment like a value. And so I think part of AI native is the ability to solve user problems more complex than if-then. And so an example might be, find me all the transactions bought by Apple that are over $2,500 and like generate a depreciation schedule and then deploy those depreciation schedules and run those consistently. Although that would just take a lot of code and a lot of clicks, and now you can just kind of let it run. Or separately, can you let AI run over your system? So from somewhat of an architecture perspective, we went from like monoliths to microservices to now functions. And so now you can do deterministic software run by an AI agent over an MCP server with a bunch of functions to do each of the little individual actions. And so it's sort of an investment in a different type of architecture.
Awesome. So I'm thinking, actually, Afiz, I'll come to you from as a user of, accounting products.
Side.
The practitioner side. Software vendors, including Bitwave, will say AI native, blah, 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 all those things. You're a user. You experience these platforms. Is there a fundamental, is this just, it's just the next feature or just automation? Is it a fundamental shift for you as a user? Should it be, are we waiting to see? Talk about that a little bit from a user's perspective.
Yeah, from my perspective and from my team's perspective, and I also believe I speak for a lot of accountants, behind the wheels.
Yeah.
I just don't see that as a fundamental shift. I see it also as the next wave of automation.
Okay.
So I see it as a combination of both, and the thinking behind that is because accounting remains the same.
Yeah.
Okay. The principles, the concept, the debit and credit, the policy elections, the conventions, all of that. The basis of recognition and measurement, all of that remains the same.
Yeah.
The standards are not changing.
Yeah.
What is changing with the application of AI and AI agents is the accounting function itself.
Yeah.
So we are essentially moving from accountants or people doing the work to agents doing the work on behalf of us. We self-design and self-deploy these agents to do the work. Nothing stops. It's all continuous, and then we are pretty much moving from periodicity, to perpetuity, where everything is just going on and on and on and on. So when from that point of view, I see it as it's more like a revolution that's built on autonomous automation. That's the way I see it. There is a shift. The rules remain the same. The rules of accounting remain the same, but it's a new rhythm. It's a different rhythm in how we are doing the work. So the doers become the governors, where you design, you deploy, and then you make sure they execute within the clear guardrails of accounting principles.
Yeah.
And then you just sit back, relax, cross your leg, and see how they execute. So that's the way I see it. More like that's why I say it's fundamental shift and also an evolution.
Okay, awesome. So I'll ask Nick and Sasha. One of your, let's say, potential buyers says, it's the next automation thing, maybe not that, dramatic. Is that kind of your view of it as a product, software providers? Do you think this is like, no, this is fundamental to all, to all accounting teams? How do you, and then also I'll ask, as you're talking to buyers, how are they reacting to I'm bringing AI native products to you? So maybe Sasha, you start, and then Nick. After that,
the velocity of capabilities is going so fast that it's hard not to consider this a really meaningful shift in what's possible. And even just we were just talking just before this, you think everything is like incredible, and then you just Claude Sonnet 3.5 comes out, and you're like, oh my god. This is like a whole new level set of capabilities. We actually just stopped everything basically and shifted the entire company to MCP and like prompt-based accounting as soon as this happened. And that wasn't capable like before. So I think it's a shift in capabilities that is different than before. So I'm excited about it. I think it'll allow for things that we just think of as humans. And the best we typically get is like 6 humans reviewing something. Like if we think about the best practices in audit and accounting, you have like somebody prepare it, and then you have somebody review it, and then you have a controller oversee that, and then you have an auditor oversee that, and then you have an audit firm of the audit firms to oversee that. And then we have to add liability and regulation for governance and people to sign off, and then we have the SEC reviewing it if you're a public company. Like, how many humans do we need to review something to make sure the 5 is 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 the 5? And that is the best that we have in accounting. And I just think that there'll be a set of capabilities in which we can have trust and confidence in the numbers.
Yeah.
And we structured it similar to like blockchain, where it is an immutable, append-only system coming right from the source with policies embedded into it. And so we have one system preparing, we have another system reviewing every individual GL line item, general ledger line item, then we have another system overseeing it like a controller trained on everything, all prompted and run by the accountant that has designed the system and configured it. And so, maybe we don't need 6 humans to look at the same number 5 and sign off. We still should have at least 1 or 2, but I don't know if we need 6.
Yeah, awesome. And Nick, I'll twist the question a little bit. You talk to a lot of prospects, customers. You show up and you say you're AI native. Is that the primary thing they care about? Are they like, I don't care that you're AI native. What is that like in terms of talking to CFOs and controllers as you sell them customers and prospects?
Yeah. So 2 things. Number one, there are certain people, and maybe you guys see the same in our sort of sales cycles, or even customers that are just enamored with AI. Like, it's like they're one thing, and while we appreciate having them on board, they're early adopters and everything else, I do call them a little bit like tourists in the sales cycle, because they'll like go in and out. Like, are they really like going to buy an ERP, which is arguably one of the biggest buying decisions you'll make as part of an accounting and finance team based on cool, like shiny chatbot experiences? Probably not. So that's sort of just something to keep in mind. On as a software vendor, we're like trying to screen against that a little bit. Obviously, want to work with the best people, but I haven't seen that quite as much yet. I think that true revolution from AI, and what we at Rillet stand for, and what I heard a little bit from you, Afis, thank you, is the periodicity going to perpetuity. Like, I think you mentioned that as a beautiful statement.
Oh, I love that too. I'm trying to remember it and not forget it.
It's a little bit of
trademark it.
Trademark it. It's a
I'm
mouthful.
going to trademark it,
So you have natural
Take note,
protection.
everyone. That's my word.
But it's real. Like, if this happens, like, it's much bigger than us as a profession of accountants. Like, we will empower businesses to, in close to real time, take business decisions, grow their businesses, make more money for their employees, produce a better customer experience, and that is really changing the world. It's much larger than basically what we're doing. And so I think the impact that AI can have via your trademark statement is going to be truly groundbreaking for the economy.
Yeah, that's great. I think, so on that theme, this concept, big thing for accountants is like, how quickly am I closing the books on day 1, day 3, day 4, day 15, day 30, quarter 4? And so, but question, and it's for everyone, and I'll turn to you if he's like, do we see this as a thing that allows us to have 0-day close? I'm closing every day. I'll let you.
I see that it's all live. Like, you wouldn't even need close anymore. You can say 0-day close, but technically you don't need close anymore, because everything is all live. There's continuous reconciliation from wallets to subledgers to general ledger. It's all up to date now. And you've designed these agents, to just escalate by design. They operate within clear guardrails, and they only escalate where there are issues, there are outliers, which is expected. They wouldn't always be able to figure out every accounting code, especially in the areas where there is a lot of judgment at play. But other than that, everything is just running continuously. And the way I foresee this is, you're even going to get to a point, we're going to get to a point where you're not going to have an audit opinions anymore. Audit, and I see the auditor in the room. I have a couple of other partners, and I'm looking right them in the eyes there. I'm seeing a future state where auditors are just going to be real-time assurance. You can look through the transactions. They are also deploying their agents. They are looking through everything as you're doing it, and it's just real-time assurance. There's not even an audit opinion anymore. Everything is live. It's just running, and that's the state I see it. Gotcha. Everything is continuous, no close at all.
Yeah, Nick, I've seen 0-day close on your website, so I want to hear about that.
Yeah, so our mission statement is making the 0-day close a reality. It's very carefully drafted, so it's making, because today AI is not good enough yet to make that truly a reality. And then we choose actually the term 0-day close versus continuous close. And I'll tell you quickly why, Effis, and I would love to get your opinion. In my mind, there needs to still be a version of a periodic sign-off in the accounting processes. So very silly example, but you have a legal accrual that comes in, only a certain periodic things or certain things should get amortized over a certain period of time. You may not have the information at a given time in time and space. So how do you deal in your world of the continuous close with these very significant edge cases for all of us every month? So maybe take accruals as an example. How do you think about this?
Yeah, it all comes down to execution and how you design the guardrails. Okay, the way I envision AI, and not just the way I envision, the way we're applying it right now is, we look at, the pattern is very clear. Where data is dense, and judgment is light, we automate the heaven out of all of that. And then where we have significant non-routine transactions, maybe one-off contracts or complex stuff like multi-revenue recognition analysis or judgment heavy allocation or stuff like that. Yeah, in instances like that, you can't maybe fully rely on the agents to do all of that. You step in, but they've done all the heavy lifting for you. So it's just a matter of, compounding the speed and accuracy of the agentic system with the human intervention. And I still see that, because 95% of the work is already done. Bringing the human aspect of it to close or to take it over the line should naturally just happen in a day. So again, that's the way I see it. Just getting, that is why I call it more like continuous close. It's all there. We won't have 100% agentic solution, but the human effort will be such that we can still achieve continuous close.
Yeah. So pretty aligned, different terminology, but pretty aligned. So one of the things I promised myself is I wouldn't do an AI panel without at least one tangible example that people can relate to, in finance today. Somebody is doing blah with AI and it's real and it's saving pain or whatever it is. Anyone can answer just a very real life example in finance. Okay.
I got one, and this is one that's actually blew my mind because I've seen us go from X number of days for close, especially when it comes to digital asset reconciliation, to cutting that, and in terms of number of days and in terms of effort, cutting that by at least 60%. So it's been really, really incredible what we've been able to achieve with this agentic AI. And Ava Labs, we have the core wallet. It means we facilitate swaps across different platforms. We have the P chain, we have the X chain, we have the C chain. A lot of things going on. And it means naturally we have loads of wallets, and loads of wallets means hundreds of thousands of transactions between users, everything coming into wallet, and then like I said, they have to reconcile wallet to subledgers to general ledger, into the financial statements. Everything have to make sense, and because of the nature of the swaps we do, we find ourselves, getting tokens that are highly liquid. You can't find the prices anywhere, not even on CoinMarketCap, not on CoinMarket. We do a lot of stuff, with Bitwave, for example, where we reach out to the team, wonderful support. Hey, we're trying to price this stuff, but it wouldn't always work. So we've come up with an undue cost of boarding expedient. Where it's if it's a material, just get rid of it. Don't worry about accounting for it. But what we've seen lately is that with this agentic AI, we've developed a price and balance query tool, which automatically reconciles the wallet, to the system balance, either in NetSuite or in Bitwave and all of that, and it flags the exceptions. And part of the things I have to do monthly, for example, is generate the statement of digital asset, SODA, for the C-suite. And I see myself usually doing that maybe in the third week post-month end. And the board is where are we? We want a full liquidity picture. I know that, but we want to reconcile. But right now we're at a point where just few days, I'm saying few days, but technically it's maybe 2-3 days post-month end. Digital asset track is done, and it is all down to this balance and price query tool. It's just working continuously and solving the problem for us real time.
That's awesome.
That's a good example.
That's awesome.
I could name more and more, but in the interest of time, I'll cut it short.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'll go to another question about the future of finance, and you guys can pick which aspect of this you want to answer. So, from a team perspective, what does that look like? Is it tons of people, fewer people, blah, blah, blah. Or you can say from a systems perspective, what does that look like? Or even processes. So Sasha, you could pick, or you could talk about all of them, but talk about what you see future
I don't get to
finance.
talk about my AI features? Like you
Sure.
skipped over. This is I was like, which one am I going to pick? This is fun. No, all right, let's go. All right, so I think it depends a little bit. My guess is Nick and my answer is going to be different because we have a different buyer. So most of our clients are accounting firms and accounting firm owners.
Yeah.
And so if we look and think about what does the future look like for them, I think there's probably the closest analogy is if we look at the history when the spreadsheet came out, about 50% of all accountants lost their jobs. There was about, I think 1 to 2 million accounting jobs were eliminated over the next 18 months. But 2.5 million more jobs were created at more than double the income, more than double the wage for accounting analysts and finance people. And so do I think the exact same job that exists today for an accountant or a bookkeeper is going to look the same in 12 to 18 months? No. But I think that we will see, of the amount of jobs lost, I think will be added more jobs. Accountants will make more money in the next 5 years than they've ever made before in their life.
That's awesome.
Let's go.
I like
We
the sound of
love
that.
Love that. More money, more jobs.
Good time to be an accountant.
Yeah, and Nick, any aspect of that question on the future of
It's
of
hard to
finance?
beat 5 times more money. No, but seriously, I think that there is an element of just like max productivity means more value, which gets remunerated. In terms of I can take the in-house perspective maybe away from the firms just to complement a little bit. We do pitch the vision of the accounting team of one.
Okay.
And there is, for all the auditors in the room, there's a bit of segregation of duties issues with that vision and so forth. So like,
A little bit.
Yeah, gloss over the details for a second with me for the sake of dreaming. But yeah, that you have like maybe an accounting team of 1 or 2 individuals running a $1 billion revenue run rate company and having a set of AI agents basically doing the work for them. I think that's real in a couple of years. I think just very tactically for everybody in the room in terms of their own skill sets, being very technically inclined, relentlessly resourceful, and hire also very young people out of school that are very native with these tools, I think will make your personal longevity in the profession and reaping the benefits of 5x a salary increasingly more likely.
That's awesome. So with minus 20 seconds left, Afiz, I think you can close us out. Your view, the future of AI, finance, what the function looks like.
Yeah, I believe it's not about smarter models. There will always be smarter models, day in, day out. I've been mind blown by what we saw from Dev Day this week. AI in accounting and the success of AI in accounting is going to be about smarter people, smarter accountants, those that can really take the lifts and take the push and say, yeah, I'm going to automate this. I'm going to look at how you can improve value, bring value to stakeholders, the business, our clients, and all of that, and just get things done faster and in a better way. That's the way I say it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys taking the time.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.